let's say for the sake of argument that I experience this yodel or bifurcation at around the A3. This is fairly low, but I've heard it happening here with people. I've heard it happening as low as like F3. So we're going to listen and see what happens. I'm going to approach this A3 with a heavy weight first, and maybe I'll start at the D3 and slide up. Always, to assess this sound, we want to start with a low pitch first and slide so we can hear the moment that the disconnection wants to happen. So, ah. I know that at a heavy weight on this A3, I'm at very little risk of inducing this yodel. I know that that's very unlikely. So I'm going to now get lighter. Now I was able to get very, very light without any yodel happening. But typically what will happen is something like this. There will be a sudden yodel, and then you'll kind of be over the line and getting this really light sound. If that happens, you need to find your way back over the line. You need to induce a change in weight and find the pathway back to the more connected sound. If you can't, if you feel like you're hitting a wall, go ahead and pause, reset, and slide up from the D3 and try again. I'm going to find where that yodel wants to happen. And work on just exploring, letting it happen. But each time, always making sure that I end on the connected side, on the adducted side, on that sound that sounds like it belongs attached to the lower pitches. I don't wanna end the sound here, because if I end the sound here, I am training my body and my brain that this is an acceptable strategy for sound production at this pitch range, and I don't want that. I want to always end on that more connected side. Okay, so this is where it's going to happen right early on for some people, but maybe not. So what's the other strategy? One is start at a single pitch, find the pitch where that sort of sudden yodel wants to happen, and then sustain and lighten up. See if you start to notice the yodel happening, cross over back and forth as much best as you can, and always end on the side you started on. But maybe it happens slightly higher, or maybe the A is fine and you get the A resolved, but now you want to go a little higher still. Try going to the B now. So again, I'll slide from, like, let's say E3 to B3. And I just skipped over, right? Like I didn't even address like E flat, B flat, right? There's a whole half step in between these pitches, and it could be that you're achieving the bifurcation or the yodel on those half step pitches as well. Being really methodical and going half step by half step is really worthwhile for this exploration, but just in the interest of time, right, we want to just go faster. So, so it maybe happens a little earlier now that I'm at a higher pitch. Maybe I can't even get to that pitch without the bifurcation happening. If I can't get to the pitch, you heard that little as I ascended. That means maybe I need to go with a heavier weight to the higher pitch. And now I know I can get lighter from there and monitor. And that's all I'm going to do. My two strategies are ascending very heavy and then lightening up. And if I encounter an issue while I'm getting lighter, I'm just going to work that boundary back and forth. And if I encounter an issue as I ascend, I'm going to aim for a heavier pitch first, heavier weight first, and then see if I can sustain, and then see if I can start to lighten up again. So our strategy is always going to involve sustaining at a specific pitch, one pitch. Don't feel like you have to, sing a melody or anything yet. This is not the goal. You're just assessing and walking back and forth over that line. Eventually, you're going to be able to kind of nudge the fence over. So that point at which it wants to flip over, you'll just lean against it and it'll start to shift, and you'll be able to get lighter and lighter and lighter without the yodel happening. And that is our goal. So if I go, I want to get very, very light without any kind of yodel. And that's what we're looking for. Okay? So give these a listen, attempt some of this. Let me know if anything comes up.